This video is brought to you by
Cool green clothing coming straight up out of that DMV. You know what it is. This that Baltimore designer right here. Come on now, come and show some love and show some support. Go online right now, coolgreenclothing.com, and make your purchase. Oh yeah, by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. I want to give a special shout out to Timeless Tent for supporting the channel. Definitely appreciate your support. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. When you get to a point in life when you are settled into your career, got a home, know who you are and what you like, it's a great feeling. Around about our 30s, most people start to understand life a little better. In our 20s, we might hang out, go to the club, run the streets, but as we mature, you learn things about yourself and realize nothing is more fun than having a peace of mind. Your desires change from hitting the club to maybe hanging out with neighbors, inviting a few friends from work over to the house, watching shows with your significant other, just a more mature, controlled setting. Once you find that peace of not living to please others, nothing can make you move. You stand on what you stand on, believe in what you believe in, and control your circle, who you want to be around or places you want to be. You would think this would eliminate petty situations, chances of you doing something to somebody or them doing something to you, because you are at that cruise control point, work, home, chill with a few friends on the weekend, and do it all over again. But even as a grown man or woman that knows themselves, there's no way you can ever know what type of time another person is on and what their trigger points are, no matter how much you think you know them. A smile and handshake only goes so far. And worse than young people who don't know themselves and don't know how to control their emotions is grown-ups that's on that same type of time. And when you cross paths with that type of person, any small situation can take a turn for the worse. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing a case of a beef over a cookout between neighbors that turned fatal. All the way back in 2014, 39-year-old Michael Jefferson Jr. had created a good life for himself. A nice home in Windsor Mill, Maryland, a great career working with kids, and which Mike loved to do. He worked for a program in Howard County that helped parents find after-school care, but also like a mentor program, teaching the kids things outside of school. Parents and students all knew the man, in which they called him Big Mike, for his size and even more, his personality. Being the one to make everybody smile when he walked into a room. Big Mike was the type of guy that based his life off of principles and morals, even teaching his students that. On one occasion, a mother recalled sending her daughter to a summer program, and she was the only girl there around a bunch of little boys. They was playing basketball. She stated all the little boys was annoying her daughter and not wanting to play with her, until Big Mike stepped in, letting the young man know, we don't carry like that with our woman. We all play together or no one plays at all. Changing the dynamics so the little girl can feel comfortable. Outside of work, Mike had a big presence in his neighborhood, rather being the first one to welcome new neighbors or sitting outside making sure the kids were straight. He had a girlfriend who would often come visit him, but the two didn't live together. Mike had his home and she had hers. One of his neighbors was at the time 30-year-old Brandon Stanfield. Brandon and Mike hung out together with other men in the neighborhood as well, rather getting together watching the Ravens game or just kicking back, having cookouts around the way. So close to Easter, Brandon let everybody know he was having a cookout. He was inviting family and of course his neighbors. Mike accepted the invitation. On April 20th, Easter Day 2014, Brandon hopped on the grill. Neighbors came over one by one. Everybody was kicking back, having a few drinks, laughing, and chopping it up. Mike walked over to the house and the energy at the get-together became more positive as Brandon waited for his family to arrive. All his neighbors were chilling, they had already eaten, and it was getting late. As Mike told Brandon, like, alright bro, I'ma head on home. It's getting late, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Brandon insisted, like, nah yo, stay and meet my peoples, they on the way now. But Mike cut that short, not really knowing Brandon's family like that. Like, nah, I'm gone. After the cookout was over, it was almost midnight when Brandon told another neighbor, let's go see what Mike is up to. The two bopped over to Mike's house and rung the doorbell. Not thinking too much about it, he let them in. As the one neighbor who came with Brandon sat in the living room to watch TV, Brandon walked with Mike to the kitchen. He asked him like, yo, why you ain't stay at the cookout to meet my peoples? Mike told him it wasn't about nothing. He just was ready to come home. Brandon had his gun on him and took it out and set it on Mike's kitchen table. Mike looked at him like, come on, bro. You really gonna disrespect my house like that by not only bringing a gun, but pulling it out? As Brandon already mad about Mike leaving the cookout, he asked the man, like, what you saying? Mike told him, you can go ahead and roll out. Seconds later, multiple shots went off. As neighbors heard the shots, two of them that was close to Mike felt the noise was coming from his house. They ran over and found Big Mike laying in the kitchen before then calling police. But when police responded to the house, it was too late. And unfortunately, Mike would pass away from his injuries. As neighbors told police, they were all just at a cookout and Mike had just left not too long ago. They started searching his house, only to find 40 caliber shell casings, but no forced entry, indicating whoever shot, he let them in. The next morning, as police continued to search Mike's house in the neighborhood, neighbors spoke out about how friendly Mike was and how much of a good neighbor he was. Always spoke, looked out for everybody, and they couldn't believe somebody did that to him. No one at first knew who shot the man though, until later that day. The person that was in the house with Mike and Brandon came forward. They told police they saw everything. They let it be known Brandon was mad Mike left the cookout, and when they went to his house, Brandon at first felt disrespected. Mike didn't want to hang out with his family. But after Brandon pulled out his gun, it led to Mike also feeling disrespected. They claimed once they heard the commotion, they heard a shot and ran in the kitchen to find Brandon standing over Mike shooting the man. That's when they ran out. With this information, police walked over to Brandon's house. During the search, they found the same caliber gun, a 40 cal, that was used to take Mike's life. Brandon was taken to Baltimore County Detention Center, charged with first-degree hit. Doing all my research, I couldn't find any court information or nothing saying how much time Brandon received, only that he is still currently incarcerated at Patuxent. Rest in peace to Mike. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. When I hear stories like this, it reminds me you can stay out the way, do right, not be in the streets, and still run across somebody who is willing to take your life over something petty. Mad over a cookout and another man leaving. That had nothing to do with disrespect, but ego. You never think it'll be the company you choose to keep that'll take your life. But in the end, a peaceful Easter day in a quiet neighborhood turned to one man gone for a petty reason and another one throwing his freedom away. But hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Mike. I definitely send my prayers to his family. I ain't never really heard too much about this case, which I'm surprised. But y'all definitely let me know what y'all think in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.